911. It's a number dialed over 240 million times each year. In all cases, those cries for help are answered by trained professionals, and many of them are NENA certified ENPs. Let's talk to one of them, unedited and completely off the cuff.
Are you positive he's breathing?
No.
Okay, and he's blue?
Yeah.
Okay, then there's a good chance he's not breathing. Is there somebody else there that can do CPR?
Oh my God.
911, what's your emergency?
NENA, the National Emergency Number Association, and the NANCI-approved Standards Development Organization, has created the Emergency Number Professional Accreditation, specifically for public safety professionals. ENP certification establishes the benchmark for performance, signifying a broad-based competence in the public safety field. Successful certification completion demonstrates an individual's mastery of the knowledge base requirements for an emergency management position. So join me as we talk to yet another new ENP, unedited and completely off the cuff. Hey, it's Fletch. Welcome to another episode of Off the Cuff, True Confessions of an ENP. Today we're taking a ride out to Hancock County, Illinois.
No.
Except they're going to Indiana. Welcome to Alyssa Eichholtz, ENP.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for joining the podcast today. Even the best mess up sometimes.
Hey, it's all good. Originally from Illinois. So.
Well, I knew that,
Great.
right? Because I deep Googled you way before.
Right
I put you through ChatGPT.
There you
I'm
go.
going to start doing that with people just to see what comes up.
Ugh, yikes.
So congrats on your new ENP.
Thank you.
Tell me the story of Alyssa.
The story of Alyssa.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
It
So,
was a cold day in the window.
Originally from Illinois. So
We knew that, yeah.
We knew that. Came to Indiana about 10, 11 years ago, and I started dispatching 8 years ago. Originally dispatched on the police end for Indianapolis Metro PD and made my way to Hancock County about 4 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
So out in Tai Wooten country.
I am in Tai Wooten country, and I'm sure we will get into that. John Joe Cantus is my director now.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have Ty's my mentor, and we're in business together as well. We just launched our business on Monday.
Oh, you're involved with that? That's great. I saw that. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I work with him pretty closely. So.
And you admit that publicly. That's a good step. You know what? A lot of people don't make this progress that fast. That's good.
Yes. So I am that's exactly where I work now, and have a lot of those connections that I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yep.
So.
Oh, wow. Boy, if I had known that, I could have dug up all kinds of dirt. Oh, my God.
I didn't say anything about it.
Total missed opportunity. So after we're done, I gotta fill out my list on Ty.
Okay.
So 'cause I got a lot of good stuff, but I'm sure it needs updating. Yeah. So what brought you on your ENP journey other than working for like one of the mentors of the industry?
Right.
How did you survive 8 years without him saying you must get your ENP?
So I actually wasn't that involved with Ty until I had already pretty much started studying for it. So the ENP kind of came about before all of that. When I made my transition from Indianapolis Metro to Hancock County, it's a much smaller center, and I transitioned to that center because I wanted somewhere where I can take a bigger leadership role. Now, I hadn't known anything about NENA or about the ENP 4 years ago, prior to coming over to Hancock County. And I was lucky enough to kind of get my footing there, develop some like leadership roles, start my role as a PIO, and the opportunity for an assistant supervisor position came out. I applied and I got that role. I ended up I had been through a ton of NENA classes at this point, but went to the supervisor class, and I was blessed to have Nancy Lockhart as my instructor.
Oh, she's terrible.
The worst. And so she pulled me aside during that class, and we all know Nancy, and she was just like, "So when are you getting your ENP?" Right?
There you go.
And I was like, "Girl, that is so in the future, like that's not happening. And this was about 2 years ago.
Oh, that must have really upset her.
Uh-huh. And it just wasn't something I had really considered at that point. Again, I was only 5 years into my dispatching career and wasn't really sure what I wanted for my future in this field or anything like that. But she kind of set that bug in my brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every other NINA class I took, any other class I took was always kind of in the back of my brain. And the Empower ENP was hosted here in Hancock County, the Sarah Weston 911 Wonder Woman Empower ENP.
Why do you hang out with all these like nobodies in the industry? I don't get it.
Right? Oh, we can go on, right? And so I was able to attend that class, and that was May of last year or 2 years ago. Because I kind of said, let's see what I know. Let's see what I can gain from this class. And went into Empower ENP, and it was taught by Ty, which is actually now really the first time I'd really interacted with Ty. And the relationship blossomed from there. I got on the interview board at my center. He was a part of that. But to go back to the ENP, I felt like after Empower ENP, there was such good information presented in such a good way that it was all starting to click. All of these little terms and little things that I knew were going to be a part of what this test encompassed. I was like, okay, I think I can do this. I really think I can do this. I negotiated in my brain about taking it that semester. I just did Empower ENP. I'm signing up. That would have been like 2 months of studying before the exam. And one of my coworkers, Misty Rhodes, who's now came from Henry County and is back at Henry County. She had been studying, and she said, maybe you need just a little bit more time. There's a lot more to cover and a lot of things to memorize and go over.
Good, honest feedback. That's great.
Give yourself a little bit more time. So I put it a little bit on the back burner. Didn't really study at that point. I said, I'll give myself just hang out for a little bit, and kind of how things go, put it on the back burner, a little bit out of sight, out of mind. And 2 months pass, 3 months pass, right? And now, am I ever going to really even sign up? Then I attended ICRA that was hosted in Ohio in December of last year. It was my first conference. I did go with my director, Joe Cantus. And at that conference, I linked up with Ty and Sarah again, Joe Wasall, and a bunch of other industry leads. Was sitting at tables with them and having great conversation and talking about 911 and the future of 911 and my future in 911 and all of these grand ideas and where we're going, what's happening in the future. And I think Sarah says it best, and not to take her direct quote or that this is where I was thinking, but I was with all of these, power heads of our industry. And I said, I need the letters. Like, I'm sitting talking with these people. I need the letters. I need to prove that I'm committed, that I'm dedicated, that I've got the understanding that I'm doing it, that I'm here for 911 and, to have a spot at that table, which is I was already sitting at, but to kind of prove my worth.
Yeah. It's just like being a doctor without MD after your name.
100%. And so I buckled down and I said, I had a great backing, right? I'd been through CMCP at this point and all of the NINA courses, Empower ENP, but I hadn't opened the blue book. Okay. So ICRA's over. I come back home. I go on my computer. I immediately sign up for the ENP, because if I've got a deadline, if I have something on my calendar, it's going to get done.
Yep. I've heard a lot of people say that. I've been farting around with this for 10 years and I finally put a date on the calendar, and then I had to buckle down because somebody, me or my agency, was paying for it.
Right.
Yep.
And so it's the tale as old as time. And I hear that as well. It's just you beat around the bush and you postpone it and all of those things. And so I finally just said, nope, I'm signing up. We're doing it. And so signed up and did it.
Cool. Good for you.
Thank you.
Great story. And it's just, everybody's story is a little bit different, but they all follow the same path. It's like there's this wavering period beforehand. You meet people in the industry that you respect, and you're like, I want to do that too. I can do that too, but I'm missing those letters behind my name. And it's just, I think it's the realization of that's what it is. I've got to build my credibility. Yeah. So let me tell you, so you're a PIO at your agency, which I have all the respect for in the world, because you get to go out there and teach the unknowing what reality is all about. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see you be able to put those ENP letters after your title when you're given that press release or press conference.
Yeah. And I'm really lucky. In Hancock County, there are 5 of us, 5 ENPs, including director and deputy director. And we already, after I got mine, there was a good press release put out in our daily newspaper for the area.
Great.
So we're already kind of getting that understanding. But exactly, just to, I think, more people to see that, recognize maybe what it means, if they decide to look it up or, develop an understanding of why it's important. It's very cool.
I did an interview. I think the person was out on the West Coast someplace, but she said, would you mind if I gave your contact information to my PIO? Because they were thinking about doing some press. I'm like, oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Give them, here's my cell phone number and my home phone number. If they want to do a story on you, mm-hmm. Nina's here completely 100% to back that. Mm-hmm. And they did a wonderful press piece on that individual being the 4th ENP in their agency. And I don't remember if it was a county or just a large community, but they're like, leading the challenge into next generation. I mean, they made a whole big piece at the TV station over it. And it was really a good public interest story. It was a great community story. It was a great industry story all the way around. Mm-hmm. So a lot of great press opportunities there. But then when you go out there and you say something, it gives you the ability to say, I'm saying this. And by the way, I got freaking credibility here in these 3 letters. Mm-hmm. So,
And it's very cool to have the 3 letters as well, to be able to explain to people that 911 is more, and what we're doing is so much more than just answering calls.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So many people take it for granted. Yeah. It's like, what's the big deal? It's 3 numbers. Yeah. Okay. What's the big deal?
Yeah. And just to be able to explain a little bit further that, no, what I studied for and what I'm helping implement and what I'm a part of is I didn't get my ENP to be the best 911 call taker. I can now do CPR with my eyes closed. That's not what we learned in getting the ENP. It's the comprehensive knowledge of the industry as a whole, which I think so many people misunderstand that as telecommunicators we're a part of as well.
So, Ms. Eichholtz, as a new ENP, explain to me in a single, simple sentence what the ENP means to you and your agency.
In my agency, it's definitely a sign of dedication and commitment to this industry as a whole. It's a sign of being a leader and a forefront in the industry, and just like setting myself apart as someone who wants to make a difference in 911 more than just within Hancock County, but hopefully much bigger than that.
You are such a PIO, I swear to God. Off the top of your head, man. That's great.
Thank you.
So tell me, Ms. Eichholtz, what exactly is Next Generation 911?
Ooh, I love Next Gen 911. As you said, baby dispatcher here, though, right? So it doesn't scare me because, especially as even dispatchers younger than me want to be or are, is that, I'd much rather text and things along those lines, right? But Next Gen 911, I think, is it's necessary, first of all. It's where our industry needs to go. I think it's something that has such a connotation of being scary and big and this big unknown thing. But the technology has changed in our industry, and where the future is going across the board, we need to keep up with that. So being able to go with the times, because I feel like already losing some things there, and we need to incorporate Next Gen 911 and explain to people in the world, especially in the government, why it's so important and why they need to back it.
So why are we so behind in Next Gen? No, I'm not gonna grill you. I'd love to.
How much time do we have?
That's fantastic. So what was the most valuable thing that you found that brought you through the process of becoming an EMP once you finally decided to pull the trigger and open the book?
Well, I guess I can answer that two ways, right? Is what obtainable knowledge I learned that helped me through. But I think it was way more of that, just the grit of, kind of like we said, how everyone puts it on their calendar and now it's time to buckle down, and realizing that, hey, this is the step if I want a bigger, better future in this industry, that I've got to commit. I've got to sit down. I've got to put the time aside. I've got to treat it like, whether it be like school, or I run a lot, so a training plan for running. I set the time aside, and I, put my eyes to paper and I studied. Outside of CMCP and Empower ENP, I quite literally just read the blue book. I didn't tell anyone. I was already in business with Ty at this point. I didn't even tell him I was taking the test.
That was probably smart, actually.
I didn't tell John. I didn't tell my director, deputy director. I just signed up and did it myself. And looking back, I think there's advantages and disadvantages to that. I could have gone and, had a lot of back and forth and helped people, or had people help me answer some of the gray areas, and maybe discussed things to have a more comprehensive understanding. But for just who I am and knowing myself, having more people know would have put too much pressure on it for me. And I wanted this to just kind of be my thing for a little bit until I knew I passed.
Nice. Everybody's got a little bit of a different story and a little different path. And I think part of the process is understanding you're ready, understanding why you're ready,
right,
and then figuring out that goal, how you're going to get from point A to point B, because, it is a well-defined road, but there are a lot of lanes that you can take.
Yeah.
Some are fast, some are slow, some are congested, some are wide open, and it's not always all the way through in that same lane. And you've got to be able to duck and move and adjust. And, only 67% of the people that took the test this time around passed. And that actually was up a little bit from the normal numbers.
Yeah.
So it's less than 2,000 people have their EMP right now.
Yeah. It wasn't easy.
23,000 people in this organization.
Yeah.
So, no, it's not an easy thing. And you say, well, why is it so hard? It's so hard because it means something. Mm-hmm. It's not just a piece of paper on the wall. Did you get your box yet?
I did, yes.
Is that the coolest?
It was very cool to receive, yeah.
Yeah, kind of tell everybody, stand back because it kind of explodes.
Right. It should have had streamers or confetti that came out.
Yeah, confetti cannon, yeah.
Right.
No, there was a lot. I tell everybody there's a lot of thought and process that went into that box. It was almost a little mini committee on the box, making it special.
It is very special. It's very cool to receive that.
But they did that. They did that because people had gone through 6 months, a year, 2 years of this studying and committing their life. We wanted them to feel this ongoing sense of accomplishment.
You definitely get that.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Have you recorded your video for Telecommunicators Week yet?
My video for Telecommunicators Week.
Yeah, so Nina's got a new program. So this is going to put pressure on me. That means I got to edit this video and get this out before the week's out. But at nina.org / oh, now I'm going to forget the URL. Hero Spotlight.
Okay.
It's a web-enabled recording interface that lets you record why you're in 911, what it means to you, 5 or 6 different things that you can pick a point and cover. We're putting all of that together, and we're going to edit those videos together for National Public Safety Telecommunicator Week, which is, from the time we're recording this, next week.
Yes. Okay, I missed the memo, didn't read the weekly email. So this is new, the 911 Hero Spotlight, but I will take a look at this. You don't have to be an ENP to record anything.
No, it could be anybody in 911.
Cool. So
we're looking for call takers.
Well,
and, people.
I know a lot of them. Weird.
So your job is, because you still take calls.
Yeah.
Is to get somebody in addition to yourself from your agency and get some videos in there.
Oh, we'll get people, Fletch. I got you.
Come on.
I got you.
So,
Yeah, we'll do that.
You going to be able to come up with something to say?
For a 911 hero moment? Sure. Absolutely.
I think you could probably put that together.
I can come up with something, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. You did pretty good so far.
Thank you.
You interested in doing ENP video interviews? I could take a break. Yeah.
Just take over. Off the cuff featuring.
There you go. That's a good name though, right? Off the cuff.
Yeah. What is the story behind it?
I work for 911 Inform, and we have a marketing person, and I said I want to create this new video series for ENPs, and I want this just to be, just really quick and simple, down and dirty, stuff. And she's like, kind of like off the cuff. I'm like, yeah, off the cuff. She goes, well, there's your name. And I'm like, what? She goes, off the cuff, True Confessions of an ENP. Oh my God, you're brilliant. So,
yeah,
from a little baby marketing person.
Baby marketer.
Yeah. So, who has since moved on and doing wonderful things with her career, but she did good stuff for us while she was here.
I like it.
And that's what it's been from the first. And by the end of the day, I had logos and graphics and the whole thing. And she even came up with a little thought bubble and the off the cuff thing.
Right. It comes together quick. From starting Positive 911 with Ty, I can attest to that fact that you get the ball rolling.
So what exactly? So I've looked briefly, but this literally just started from the time we're recording this. It was like 2 days ago that it launched.
We launched on Monday the 7th. So
give me a real quick synopsis of what it is.
Yeah. So Positive 911 is hoping, our mission is to change the face of 911 recognition in our industry. We provide not only just recognition pins that you can buy on our website, but a platform for 911 agencies to help spread the word and share their message for those accomplishments. We offer a variety of resources, anything from mock-up press releases, social media posts.
Who are you going to get to write that stuff?
I wonder. So that's kind of where I helped and stepped into play. And that's kind of where the business developed. And I took a larger role than just creating the Instagram, right? And we kind of took just handing out 911 recognition pins to providing a platform. So other agencies are able to kind of step into that power of recognizing their telecommunicators and doing it in a much more like innovative, bold way that isn't how we've seen it done in the past. We wanted to kind of revolutionize what that looked like.
So you're there as a support agency for agencies or the public or the press or anybody to take advantage of people recognizing 911 folks in the industry.
Absolutely. And
you're kind of like empowering that.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for, right? And
what a great name that would be.
Well, we wanted to do it in a different way, be a little bit innovative, be something different. And we're not just offering the life-saving pins and a baby delivery pin.
Yeah.
We're doing things that 911 dispatchers often don't get recognized for. Fire save, assistance and apprehension, callers in crisis. These calls that often sit with dispatchers that everyone else gets recognition for, right? The boots on the floor, the police and fire when they go out there. But typically, while we're on the phone, like, we play such an important role. And you might get the recognition within your agency, but how do we craft a message to let your community know, to let others in the 911 industry know? Yeah, the fire department can social media post that fire and the heroes that the fire, and I'm not discrediting what they do once they get on scene, but there's so much that happens in those moments over the phone.
It's not the full story. There's parts of the story that don't get told. And that's part of the problem in 911 is you don't get that recognition, but you're the one that kicked off the whole thing.
Yes, we started it, right? And it's so much more than the typical, again, what we're known for CPR over the phone and baby deliveries. And again, so important. And we've incorporated that and we redesigned what that pin looks like. So it is a little bit maybe more professional and something that people want to display. And we wanted to include other things that so many 911 dispatchers, 911 telecommunicators don't ever get recognized for. And really just like opening that door and showing people, not just with pins, but showing people how to craft and formulate that message to give a press release out, to send it to, news and put it on socials so that it can develop into something and be like stand the test of time, and not just that one phone call that dispatcher maybe remembers if it was really important to them, that they have something more substantial to hold on to.
Can you come up with a little pin for ENPs that survive a podcast with somebody like me?
I love it. On the website, there's a little area for any ideas you've got, what you want to see in the future. I'll just put that in. I'll put
sneak that one in there for me. Now, that's such a cool idea. That's such a Thai idea. That's fantastic. And wow, what a great talent that you have bringing to that organization. I wish you a lot of luck. That's a pretty good little side hustle for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well, listen, thanks so much for sitting down. You've got an open door to come back and talk about anything that's going on. Best of luck in your center. And, good luck in being that icon to get more ENPs in your center and start touting it to your neighboring agencies to start a little race. Who can have the most?
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
So, well, listen, Alyssa, thank you very much. Alyssa Eichholtz, ENP at Hancock County 911, and also the brains and PIO piece behind Empower 911.
Positive 911.
I'm sorry. So I got your county wrong. I got your side hustle name wrong. Is there anything else I can do, Alice?
Right. I'll take it. Hey, what do we say, Fletch? Any press is good press.
Any press is good press. Even press with Fletch.
You just go. I'll roll with it.
Whatever. Hey, thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Off the Cuff, True Confessions of an ENP. I'm Mark Fletcher, ENP, Northeast Regional Director for NENA, the National Emergency Number Association. Off the Cuff is produced by 911 Inform, providing next-generation 911 emergency services solutions for enterprises today, and making every second count when it matters most. Be sure to visit them at 911inform.com or call at 1-833-333-1911. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Fletch911. Check out my profiles on Facebook and LinkedIn, and you can download all my videos and podcasts at Fletch.tv. Thanks for watching, and if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do. Stay safe and take care.